Hey there everyone, it's me, Dungeon Proper. I know I haven't done quite a bit of stuff on this channel in a while, but I wanted to come back at you with some updates. I do want to make more videos for this, but I've really just been focusing on my own personal home material. So I'm going to do these voiceovers. This is my first time really trying to do something like this, and just walk you through the process of what I'm doing and how I'm doing. Right now I'm making just a quick homebrew town that may or may not get featured in my next session for this campaign. What you're seeing on the screen is I'm using a program called Incarnate. I have the Pro version, which is like $5 a month or $25 for the whole year. It's really worth it if you like making maps, and I'm mostly sticking with one style because this is how I like making my town maps. If you're familiar with Incarnate, what you can see me doing here is I've essentially set up a river on the top side of the screen that we'll texture later, and then I like putting down all the important buildings and stamps first, so these are going to be your bridges and areas of interest. From there, what I've just done is I've set up a very rudimentary road system of what we're going to follow, more or less. From here, I am stamping a lot of trees all around. They don't have to be perfect, but I like to cover up the lines leading towards the water, and I also like to mix in different kinds of stamps and trees. It doesn't have to look perfect because once we add some of the ground textures and more stamps, it's going to fill out nicely, at least nice in my opinion. I'm putting these all colored trees here that I'm not exactly fond of at the moment, but I left them in just because I wanted some variety. Now, something I see in a lot of the D&D groups that I'm in, or the DM map painting groups, is that people don't blend their textures a lot, so that's what I'm doing here, adding some flavor to the screen. At the top, I'm adding some water. I know this is very bare bones, but my best advice for this is when you're adding these textures to the background and foreground for your Incarnate maps, don't be afraid to blend them. You can change the opacity, or you can just lightly tap your mouse, that way they don't overlap. So now that we have like our very basic outside done, I'm moving on towards the inside. I decided I wanted to have a cliff running through the northern part of the town, and I decided to resize some of the buildings here. Since this is only meant to be like a very bare bones representation of what's going to go on, it doesn't necessarily matter if it's not perfect. You know, it's really all theater of mind, so everything here is just meant to be a rough representation. Oh, here's another piece of advice. Save often. My computer sometimes is known to crash, and that'll cause some problems. So, as you can see here, there are buildings that I'm just tossing down in random directions. Those simpler looking buildings, they're not really going to serve any purpose other than making the town look more full. But once we've gotten the outside done, and then I work on the inside of the town, my next general step is now what you're going to see here for the remainder of the video is I like to add a lot of the smaller details. If someone were to zoom in on the map, these are carts, barrels, little fortifications. I think I took a small break here because the pizza in my oven was ready. I'll add some parks, some fences, and it ends up making it feel more full. Now, I don't really like the texture that's going on with the stone, so you're going to see me go over that again in a little bit, just because I was having trouble finding exactly what sort of flooring I wanted. But by having these fences divvy up where the road is, you're also creating more space in the town, whether you know it or not. Okay, this is where I went up and got that pizza. I thought I cut it out, but it is what it is. There we go. Yeah, so I wanted to have some little internal areas, so I added some parks and just some smaller details here. That's probably going to take you most of the time. And there are things that are going to more than likely get overlooked by your players, but I would say this whole build, all in all, took me about 30 to 45 minutes. It was something I rushed because I was pressed for time. Yeah, I went back in here and I added some mossy effects for the traveled in areas. And then I decided to add some, I believe, grass and trees to the remaining green areas. Don't be afraid to mix and match assets within Incarnate. They do go well together as long as you know how to blend them. And lastly, I'm just naming things. These are all just made with random name generators or places that I've had set up beforehand, and might just be, just some filler stuff for the party to do. But that is the gist. I know this was a bit amateurish for my first video, but I just wanted to get something out there for you, see how the feedback was, and yeah,